Hey everyone, we've got some huge news this week for GFN and it's going to put a smile on your face. You might want to sit down for this one because Call of Duty Black Ops 6 has just been confirmed to be coming to Game Pass on GeForce Now. We already knew it was coming to GeForce Now, but now it's official that you'll be able to play it through Game Pass as well. And that's not all. We'll be talking about our Game of the Week along with some big updates for titles like Dead Island 2 and No Man's Sky. And while there's a lot of great news to share, we also need to cover a game that's leaving GeForce Now soon, so you'll want to stay tuned for those details. On top of all that, there's some big news from Ubisoft, a huge update coming to Fallout 76, and we're diving into the latest on Alan Wake 2 and Vampire Survivors. Plus, with Halloween just around the corner, you won't want to miss out on some spooky sales and game updates coming your way. As we mentioned earlier, Call of Duty Black Ops 6 is officially confirmed to be coming to Game Pass on GFN. For those of us on Ultimate, it's going to be one of the best ways to dive into the game from day one. No need to worry about waiting for downloads or patches, just jump in and start playing the moment it's live. It's actually the first time I'll be playing a Call of Duty at launch in many years, so I'm pretty excited to experience it right as it drops. With the new Omnimovement system, fresh zombies maps, and a gripping campaign set in the Gulf War era, this entry is really pushing things forward for the series. I can't wait to see how it all plays out. Now, moving on from Black Ops 6, let's go through the rest of the games joining GFN this week, starting with Call of Duty HQ. Alongside Black Ops 6, Call of Duty HQ brings both Modern Warfare 3 and Warzone together in one hub. Modern Warfare 3 continues the franchise's tradition of fast-paced, tactical, multiplayer gameplay. With new maps, modes, and weapons, it delivers an adrenaline-filled experience perfect for both casual and competitive players. On the other hand, Warzone offers the massive scale battle royale that fans love, throwing up to 150 players into intense large-scale combat. You may have already noticed Call of Duty HQ is live and we've had a chance to check it out. It's class. However, navigating the different parts of the game can be a bit tricky. The single player, multiplayer and Warzone sections are all split up, with multiplayer set as the default option. It's not the most intuitive setup, but don't worry, we've got a tutorial coming soon after Black Ops 6 launches to help you access each part easily. This really feels like a watershed moment for GFN, landing arguably the biggest yearly game at launch. Hopefully this opens the door for even more major titles to make their way to the platform in the future. Now, moving on from Call of Duty, let's check out the other games joining this week. First up is Worshippers of Cthulhu. This is a dunking game that I've already added to my wishlist and it's live now with very positive reviews. You'll be managing cultists and summoning cosmic horrors, trying to bring about the rise of the great old ones. The dark strategy and atmosphere make it a solid pick for fans of tactical immersive games. Next is No More Room in Hell 2, which is in early access. It's a co-op survival horror game, but it's had mostly negative reviews so far, with a lot of complaints about server issues. That said, even in the negative feedback, players are noting that it has potential. If they can iron out the server problems, it could be worth keeping an eye on. Let's talk about Romancing SaGa 2, Revenge of the Seven. If you're not sure about diving in yet, there's a demo available, so you can give it a try first. It's another day and date release from Square Enix, and we're hoping this means we'll see more of their classic games on soon. Speaking of which, we've got a video coming out tomorrow about the games we'd love to see join the platform, so stay tuned for that. Now, wake up warriors, this is Windblown, a lightning fast action roguelite from Motion Twin, the creators of Dead Cells. You'll be dashing through ever-changing sky islands, battling relentless enemies and massive bosses trying to wipe you out. As a leper, you can absorb the memories of fallen warriors, unlocking new weapons and abilities to adapt on the fly. With tough but fair combat and online co-op options, Windblown is shaping up to be a must play. Expectations are high and it could very well be the next big hit from Motion Twin. Next on the list is Selaco, which is currently in early access and has already received very positive reviews. I've added it to my wish list. It's a fast-paced first-person shooter inspired by classic retro shooters with a modern twist. If you're into fluid, tactical combat like in Doom or Quake, Selaco is definitely worth keeping an eye on. Duckside is a persistent word survival game where you and other players take on the role of combat-trained ducks in a fight for survival. Harvest materials, craft weapons and tools, and build shelters to protect your loot and yourself. With a sophisticated flight mechanic, you can glide, hover, and dive while engaging in combat. Duckside is currently in early access with mostly positive reviews on Steam, making it a quirky title worth checking out. Then we have Off the Grid, a free-to-play third-person shooter set in a dystopian future. It combines battle royale elements with a narrative-driven experience where your decisions shape the world. It's in early access, and while it currently doesn't have blockchain NFT elements, those features are planned to come in the future. Something to keep in mind as the game evolves. Now let's dive into some game updates, starting with Alan Wake 2. Remedy Entertainment has announced a free anniversary update coming on October 22nd, packed with community requested features. The update includes quality of life improvements like the ability to invert both vertical and horizontal axes, player immortality, and even infinite ammo options. It'll launch alongside the second DLC, The Lake House, which continues the story and brings new challenges to the game. Alan Wake 2 has already sold over 1.3 million units since its launch in 2023, and with these updates, Remedy is continuing to enhance the experience. Next up, we've got an exciting update for Vampire Survivors. The Ode to Castlevania DLC is dropping on October 31st for just $3.99, and it's packed with content. This collaboration with Konami includes over 20 new characters, 40 plus new weapons, and a massive new stage filled with different biomes. It's a huge celebration of the Castlevania series with music covers and tons of references to the classic games. If you're a fan of either series, this is going to be a must play, and don't forget the base game of Vampire Survivors is available on Game Pass. State of Decay 2 is getting its final major update titled So Long and Thanks for All the Brains. This update tackles long-standing issues, introduces quality of life improvements, and unlocks previously gated or seasonal content like the Wizard Van and a ton of new outfits. With the team now shifting focus to State of Decay 3, which is very likely to come to GeForce Now, this wraps things up nicely for the second game. We'll include the link to the full patch notes in the description below. Next, we've got a spooky update for No Man's Sky, which is available on Game Pass. The latest update, Expedition 16 The Cursed, takes players into a twilight realm where the boundaries of reality are falling apart. You'll be navigating this eerie landscape without hyperdrives, relying on ancient portals while dealing with haunting voices and spectral anomalies. This event runs for 2 weeks and brings a ton of rewards, including a new starship, exclusive cosmetics, and even a bioluminescent companion. Dead Island 2 has just dropped its huge patch 6 update, adding 2 new game modes and a variety of fixes. The update introduces New Game Plus, allowing players who've completed the main campaign to take on an even tougher version of the game with no level cap. It also brings Neighborhood Watch, a 3-player co-op mode that combines roguelike elements with shelter defense mechanics. Alongside these new modes, there are bug fixes, stability improvements, and a balance tweak to the So LA Festival DLC. According to Insider Gaming, Ubisoft has disbanded the Prince of Persia team, and Stephen Totolo has also confirmed the news. A sequel pitch for The Lost Crown was reportedly rejected, and now several team members have moved to other projects. One of those projects is a Rayman remake, currently under the codename Project Steambot, being developed at Ubisoft Milan. Michel Ancel, the creator of Rayman, is involved as a consultant despite past controversies. Fallout 76 is celebrated Fallout Day with a huge update called Gleaming Depths. This new raid takes players deep into an underground research lab in the ash heap where you'll face off against the Ultrasite Terror in 5 intense encounters. It's not for the faint of heart, but the rewards are worth it, including the new 4-star legendary gear system. Players can also earn unique player titles by completing quests and challenges, and the long-awaited Camp Pets feature has arrived, letting you add a dog or cat to your base. The biggest addition though is the ability to play as a ghoul for the first time ever, complete with ghoul specific perks and a feral meter to manage. And if you haven't jumped into Fallout 76 yet, it's available on Game Pass, and there's a free to play weekend on Steam from October 22nd to October 29th. Just days after the launch of Sea of Thieves Stealth Focus Season 14, developer Rare has pulled nearly all its new features, including the ability to crouch and don disguises. The removal was due to significant issues like PvP exploits that allowed players to switch weapons faster and control their movement mid-air after firing from a cannon. Rare acknowledged these problems and is working on hot fixes to reintroduce the features once they meet the studio's quality standards. As of now, only a small portion of the Season 14 content remains available, including the grappling gun and blow dart weapon. Now onto some bad news, as we have a game leaving GFN in February. Royale Reforged will be shutting down on February 17th, 2025. This follows Hi-Rez Studios' internal reorganization, where the studio is shifting focus to Smite 2 while continuing support for Smite 1 and Paladins, alongside Realm Royale Reforged. Define Knockout, though not on the platform, will also be shutting down. There's also some uncertainty about the future of Rogue Company, as its status wasn't addressed in the recent announcements. On Monday, Nvidia's stock reached a new all-time high, though it has since dipped slightly. Despite the drop, the company remains a major player in both gaming and AI, and their recent performance highlights their strong position in the tech industry. This week, our game of the week is Cuphead. With its stunning hand-drawn animations and punishing difficulty, it's a game that you won't forget once you've played it. I often forget that Cuphead is available, but it's definitely worth checking out if you're up for a challenge. Let's dive into some awesome deals on Steam right now. First up, Forza Horizon 4. This one's a must get as it's getting delisted soon. Even though it's on Game Pass, I'd recommend picking it up while you still can. Next, we've got Dead by Daylight. If you're into multiplayer horror, it's one you don't want to miss. Dredge brings eerie exploration and mystery, making it a perfect pick for fans of spooky adventures. Outriders delivers fast-paced co-op action with plenty of loot to chase. And for our bargain of the week, For Honor is full of intense tactical medieval combat with a dedicated community still battling it out. Before we wrap up, don't forget that the Steam Screamfest 2024 is just around the corner, running from October 28th to November 4th. It's a great opportunity to find even more spooky deals and games. And speaking of spookiness, check out our video on the top 15 horror games available on GFN. Thanks for watching. We've discussed some major news and great deals in gaming. Make sure to check out the Steam Screamfest and our recommendations for horror games. Until next time, game on.